I've been grinding some games on FC26, and honestly, at the start, I was struggling. Defending felt impossible, and just when I finally figured that part out, creating chances became the next headache. The main reason? I was running the wrong tactics. The formations I tried early on just didn't fit this fast-paced FC26 gameplay. Then I switched to the 4-4-2 holding, and even with that, I struggled at first because of poor player roles. But after testing out the new roles in FC26, I finally found the meta ones that make this formation shine. Let's break it down. Need coins? Go to u7buy.com for the cheapest FC26 coins. With over 40,000 positive reviews, trusted by top FC25 creators worldwide, it's the best place to upgrade your team. Use code DRFC at checkout for an extra 8% off. Don't miss out. Need coins? U7buy is your best choice, with code DRFC for 8% off today. So here's the formation, and don't get it twisted. This is the 4-4-2 holding. The difference compared to the usual flat 4-4-2 is in the midfield. The flat variation uses central midfielders, but in the holding version, you've got central defensive midfielders. And that's exactly why I prefer it. Those CDMs make defending a lot easier because they naturally sit deeper, drop back into the back line, and give extra support. That extra cover makes it way harder for your opponent to find space or dribble freely around your box. All right, let's move on to the tactics. For the build-up style, I keep it unbalanced. And honestly, FC26 feels like the best EAFC game I've played so far. That's my opinion, but you can drop yours in the comments. The reason I stick with balanced is because it gives you flexibility. You can slow it down and build up patiently, or switch gears and go fast-paced. Balanced keeps both options open. For defensive approach, I set it to 70, and yes, that's high. But in FC26, you can't just sit deep. To defend properly, you need to be a bit more aggressive and step up. Now let's dive into player roles, starting from the back. Goalkeeper, no need to overthink, just leave him on his default role if he has ++. For the two center backs, set them both to defender and defend. Same thing with the fullbacks. Both should be fullback and defend. I might test versatile on fullbacks later, and if it works, I'll drop an updated video soon. Now let's talk about the CDMs, and trust me, this is where the real magic of this formation kicks in. You've got two central defensive midfielders, but they don't play the same role. The first one should be on holding and defend. Think of him as your anchor, the shield in front of your defense. His job is simple. Sit deep, cut passing lanes, break up play, and always be there as your safety net. He's the one who gives you balance when everyone else is pushing forward. For this role, you want someone strong defensively, good tackling, and ideally some strength. Now the second CDM, this is where FC26 added something special. Put him on box crasher. This is a brand new role in FC26, and honestly, it's one of the most effective changes I've tested. What the box crasher does is exactly in the name. He makes intelligent runs into the box, almost like a surprise attacking midfielder. He doesn't just hang around the halfway line. He times his movement so that as your attack builds, he's charging forward to add an extra man in the final third. This creates overloads and gives you another dangerous option when finishing chances. For this role, you need a player with serious stamina because he's going to be covering a ton of ground. He also needs decent shooting, especially finishing, because he'll often find himself right inside the box when the ball drops. Someone with high work rates is perfect here. Think of players who don't get tired and aren't afraid to attack and defend all game long. Now yes, sometimes the box crasher will look like he's out of position when you lose the ball. But here's the trick. The role is coded in a way that he recovers super quickly. He'll sprint back into midfield so you're not left completely exposed. And remember, that's why you have the other CDM on holding and defend. He's always sitting back as your insurance policy. So when you combine the two, you get the best of both worlds. One player locking things down defensively, and the other constantly adding a new attacking dimension. On the wings, set both wide midfielders to inside forward. Last, the two strikers, and this is where I struggled the most. Set both strikers on advanced forward and versatile. Let me explain why. For example, in a different formation, when the striker is set on advanced forward and attack, you'll notice he often stays outside the box even when it's the perfect moment to attack. But the moment you switch him to advanced forward and versatile, he's always available inside the box, positioning himself in dangerous areas to receive and score. Now let's take another example, this time using this formation with both strikers on advanced forward and attack. Watch how, during a clear chance to create something, one striker drifts wide. At that moment, he's basically making himself useless, which makes no sense. I'm not saying advanced forward and attack is bad, it's not. But the striker's movement in that role makes it harder to create chances consistently. Now, observe how they position themselves when set to advanced forward with the versatile instruction. The key here is that they are consistently available and operate primarily around the penalty box. They avoid making unnecessary wide drifts, which ensures they remain centrally located. This intelligent positioning makes it incredibly easy to execute quick passing combinations. The striker is always an accessible option, right where you expect them to be, eliminating any issues with weird or unpredictable positioning. This becomes very effective in punishing defensive mistakes. For instance, if an opposing center back is accidentally dragged out of position, creating a gap in their defensive line, having our forward consistently in a central and advanced area makes it much easier to immediately identify and exploit that space to score. So that's the setup. With this formation, you can play in so many different styles: counterattack, fast-paced football, possession play, even one-touch tiki-taka. Your players are always in good positions to form triangles and keep the ball moving. Defensively, it's not about spamming constant press, but if you've mastered manual defending, this setup makes high pressing much easier. Player switching feels smooth because of how well your team is structured. And that's it for today's custom tactics. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like. Next up, I'll be covering in-game mechanics and tricks, so stay tuned.